Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have a sharp blitz game to share with you. This was played just today, October 6th, on chess.com. On the white end, Alireza Firouzja, playing against Dmitry and Andreikin. Time controls 3+0. A real clash of styles this game. Firouzja the more tactically minded, Andreikin more positionally minded. We're looking at a Slav Defense, 3 knights. A6 signals the Chebanenko Variation. G3, B5. How would you react to the pressure on C4? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, you can push, capture on D5, even support C4. These are all healthy options. Capturing on B5, not so attractive. The rook is helped. Firouzja's approach, ignore it. More development. Pawn is given up. More development. So while black has pushed the B pawn, captured on C4, winning a pawn, mission accomplished now for white on the king side. Black king still in the center. Black's follow-up is knight B to D7. Computer doesn't like this. It prefers E6. I believe a quick train of thought. This is only a blitz game. A quick train of thought with knight B to D7. Discourage this knight improvement. You fight over that E5 square. A knight improvement to E5 is also a bishop improvement, unmasked. The computer says, don't sweat it. It's fine if you allow this knight to get into E5. It wants to keep D7 open for the knight. There are a couple cases where this shows up, where you would want D7 open for the king knight. If E6 was played and the knight hops in, this is one such case. The king knight can now fall back to D7 to challenge this knight. Note the queen knight has a responsibility for the moment. If knight E5 in this position, it says challenge the knight, and if it is supported with F4, you ignore it. Carry on with development. Castle. Fine position here for black. Okay. In this game, we have knight B to D7. And when I saw this idea by Firouzja to give up the C4 pawn, I figured that what was going to be right around the corner was B3 to challenge that invasive pawn and crack open the position. And this is an approach, but Firouzja's approach much better. We have this thrust in the center, E4, king's still in the center. Let's maybe get that E file open up. Black's approach to E4 is E6. That's a healthy response at this stage. In the case of knight captures E4, there would follow knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and knight D2. You're not going to hold all of these pawns. At least one of them is going to drop shortly from here. In the case of pawn captures pawn, it's looking at knight D2 yet again, as well as knight E5 and knight G5. You're sort of spoiled for choice here if black is capturing on E4. Black plays it with E6, and now comes E5. Computer prefers this position for white. The knight doesn't have access to D7. It goes back home. And from here we see knight G5. Position after that reads about equal. Here are a couple of the top moves. From here it's looking at B3. And the other one is this interesting idea to transfer the queen knight quickly to the king side. It's looking at from here knight E2 and knight F4. Now normally I would, when I'm making these moves here, these are not necessarily in this case passing moves. In fact, they're considered top moves. It does interfere with the idea to challenge C4, having the pawn on A4, working on a pin on the A file. This knight drifting over to the queen side is setting up tricks There's a knight g5 move in this position. There's an accident that's ready to happen on e6, maybe even f7. Top move from here is g6 with then h4. If h6, knight captures f7 is already a winning shot with queen h5 to follow. It's reading checkmate from there. The point here behind knight g5, in the event of queen captures knight, there would be knight captures e6, double attack on the queen, and she cannot fall back home to defend c7. The knight is there guarding that d8 square. So what does that mean? The knight from e6 will soon be landing a fork if this knight is picked up. Okay, we do not see either approach, b3 or the knight, drifting to the king side. It's knight g5 straight away. Bishop e7. Best from here is looking at h4. In this game, we have queen h5, and the scales now tip in black's favor. Queen h5 now will allow a queen exchange by force. You're threatening mate on f7, but black can easily address this and does with g6. Queen has a responsibility, can't go too far. Have to stay defending the knight, so queen g4, knight h6 with tempo, and from here queen f4. This is the best move at this stage. If you go to h4, you're asking for trouble. This here being the trouble, knight improvement with tempo. If queen g4, there's h5. Eventually you're forced on this f4 square, and black will be able to crash through, and in the end pick up a very big center pawn. Black is winning here. So my point is that when this queen is challenged, it is best to play to f4 straight away. And from here we now go into a queenless position. Black is for choice. Knight f5, rook f to d1 covering d4. Pop quiz, what's your move here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, in the game we have c5. Now a top idea is to question the piece in black's house, h6. Try and kick it from coordinating with this e5 pawn while the knight is still around, covering it. It's also looking at first inserting rook b8, targeting the b pawn, and after it's covered, yet again, this h6 idea. Okay, this piece in the end never questioned. We have c5, pawn takes pawn. Once more, it's looking at h6. We have the simple recapture on c5. Pop quiz, what is your move here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay. There is not a tactic on d5 here. This was the main moment in the game that Firouzja had, I think, about 20 seconds, significant for a blitz game. I imagine he was calculating knight captures d5. In the game, bishop f6 is played. This is top. Let me show you why this tempting piece sacrifice on d5 is not working. First of all, why is this maybe appealing? Well, there's now this double attack on the knight, one threat, and also just the idea to maybe move the rook next and unleash this discovered attack on the rook. However, black would have one saving move that wins. The knight can save itself, as well as the king, defending the mate threat, and throw a punch at the bishop. I took this one out a step further. I was sort of surprised to see that if this rook, let's say, backed off here, the top reaction to this threat is not to go to an open file, but instead the 7th rank. The idea with this being a spot to meet the bishop check with a bishop block. If you're playing rook b8 in this position, there's a check, follow up bishop f6, and it's calling it around equal. It's uncomfortable there for black. Okay. we do not see the piece sacrifice on d5. It's not working. At the top, move in the game. Bishop f6, castles, another pop quiz. What is your move? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, this is nearby with a fork. The knight is covering it. The knight is not stable. It's given a kick with g4, and it falls back to g7. Computer prefers h6 a little bit more. Counterpunch with the idea, if bishop e7, you go into this line where in the end there are a couple white pawns hanging. All right, black's reaction to g4 is knight g7, bishop e7, and from here knight d3 is played. It's considered completely lost after this. Best play is with the knight retreating and playing this imbalance rook versus knight and pawn, looking at f4 from here, covering e5. Okay, in this game we have knight d3, bishop captures rook, king captures bishop. Another pop quiz. What's your move here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, now at the very top, this is the only winning path at this much later stage. We can see that this is still a very effective idea. Now b3 comes, challenging black's invasive pawn. Trying to hang on to e5, that's faulty. Knight's covering. f4, b3 is the way. Let's open the position for this extra rook. And the better developed white pieces in general, this knight not having a fun time. b3 is the way. Knight captures e5. Pawn captures pawn. Knight captures c. Another pop quiz. What's your move? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, now it is working. Knight takes d5. Sacrifice working out because in the end there is this fork. Very forcing sequence here. Bishop captures pawn. Bishop captures rook. Bishop captures rook. Rook captures bishop. And it simplifies very soon from here. Bishop landing a fork. Punch. Counter punch. Knight a4. Bishop captures knight. Pawn captures bishop. Another fork. And after move 32, rook a6. Black resigns. White's going hunting for the more important pawn. And once it's picked up, this pawn will fly. No hope here for black. So I really like this game. I know it's only a 3-minute one, but yeah, this opening idea, Chebanenko Variation, G3, B5, pressure on C4, who cares? I'm just going to continue to develop and rip open the center here with the E4 alpha 0 pawn on E5 and then go for the kill from here. Anyhow, your thoughts with this one, feel free as usual to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.